Hi guys, welcome to our second session for this week. We are going to go over the crew page today. I did the services page yesterday, step-by-step demo. Most of what we will be doing this week is the step-by-step demo to make things easier on you guys. You have a lot to do. I understand that. If you get stuck, zip your site root folder, email it to me, let me look at it. I will either fix the changes for you and send it back to you, or I'm going to tell you what you need to do. Just kind of depends on where I'm at during the day on how I approach that. But send those files to me or come in and see me in the SSC on Thursday or Friday. So let's talk first about the discussion this week. There seems to be a little bit of confusion about what you guys should be doing. Basically, what the discussion is asking for is that you go back to your week 1 discussion where you guys gave me all the different things that you needed to make sure your website had or didn't have for good user interface, good user experience. We talked of things like making sure the navigation bar works, make sure there's not too many options. We talked about the color scheme, no broken links, things like that. Go back to that week 1 discussion. Look what you wrote and pick two things out of that user interface, the things that are required for good user interface. Pick 2 of those things, like the navigation, no broken links, the color, the images being a certain size, anything you want to pick out of that discussion. Pick 2 of them. And then talk to me about why those are so important beyond just the user interface, meaning you can't say it's important because it's good user interface. Tell me why it's important. So basically, guys, talk to me from the design aspect or from the user's perspective. Why is that so important? Why is it important for them to easily be able to find things on the website via the navigation? Why is it not a good idea to have really bright colors or 10 different colors on a website? So it's kind of talk to me from the design perspective, not just the user interface. Go beyond that. Talk to me about the design perspective and why those things are important. Why navigation is important to the website beyond it makes things easy to find on the website. We'll go beyond that. It also means you're more likely to make a sale, right? It means the company is more likely to make money because the users can find what they want. Those are the kind of things. Just want you to expand on what you did for week 1. And that's why you only have to pick 2 things out of that week 1 discussion. 2 different elements on the website that you talked about, and then expand on them. Most of you expanded greatly in the week 1. So you're just going to essentially be copying and pasting what you already did. Any questions? Okay, so that makes sense now. Just expand on 2 of those things you talked about. That's all you have to do. Okay, then we are going to jump into getting ready for that crew page. We are going to look at our wireframe here. Let me get this shared with you guys. And let's talk about the code we're going to need. Let's start in our cell phone size. Now, these are all just one row, right? Cell phone size is just row after row after row after row. It's going to be pretty easy. So let's take a look at tablet. How many rows and how many columns? Oops. This is a row, right? One row. How many columns does that row have in it? 2. And then we've got one row, 2 columns, right? Let's look at desktop. Now, when you look at desktop, things start to get a little confusing, don't they? Because you could say, well, you've got 2 rows here. It's really not. This is still one row, one column, right? Things just got really confusing, didn't they? Because on tablet view, it looks like you've got a bunch of different rows. Guess what? You don't. You have one single row, guys, and a bunch of different columns. In this first, you've got 2 columns, then a column, a column, a column. But in reality, it is just one row. Are you with me? Is this making any kind of sense? We're going to have to set up our code a little bit differently. Yeah, absolutely. That is correct. You are basically going to do a single div for each one of these. And inside the div in this first one, you're going to have 2 more divs. That's how this is going to work. Okay. Let's hop over and let's take a look at Dreamweaver. Now then, we are going to come over, go to site, manage site, make sure that lawn care site is highlighted, hit done. In your files panel, you're going to double click on the crew.html. Going to go into strictly code view and make sure your header is collapsed. Click that little triangle like I showed you yesterday and make sure it's collapsed. Now, in between your main tags, I want you to take the first div. Matter of fact, I think it'll be easier on you guys if we just erase all this code and write our own code. Just going to erase it all. You're going to erase to that last div tag right before the main tag and hit your delete key. So you should have a tag that says main, div class equals row, div, and then a closing main tag, and then all your footer information, of course. Yes, you can just delete it all. We're going to make our own new code there. So if we go back and we look at that wireframe, we need the image owner. We need an image in a column div tag, and then we'll need meet Dave the owner. Now in cell phone size, same way. Image, meet Dave the owner. But we have to set this up so that it keeps everything together the way it's supposed to, meaning it breaks things up the way that it is supposed to. So inside this div, we're going to have a div, and we're going to do class equals quotations, column, oops, just COL, and then column medium 1/2, and then column large, is it large? What is that column called? We're going to go into our index page. I can't remember what the class name is. Oh, there's our main. Yep, we are going to need the one that says column, HP banner, column, there it is. Column large 1/4. Copy that. Go back over here. Let me paste it. Put my tag. There's my div tag. And then we're going to do that image tag. img src equals browse. And we are going to go into our desktop, our student start files, and we are going to go into the lawn care site images, and we're going to find Meet Dave, crew owner. There it is. I'm going to hit open. I'm going to automatically copy it to your images folder for you. And we're going to do the alt text. The owner. Finding tag. So there's that one. So now we have Dave the owner in here. We have our div tag here. I'm going to go after that closing tag for that div. Hit our enter key. And we're going to do another div, and the class is going to be the same thing. Oops. Class equals column, medium 1/2, and column LG -1 -4. And I need to erase this little bit of code right there. And there's that div. My enter key. Now that info box, we need to kind of repeat that, and you can choose whether it's info box tan, info box dark, whichever you want it to be. I'm gonna do a div class equals info box dark is what I'm going to do for mine. And this is where information will go. So now we need to pull up that copy text because we've got some stuff to put in there. just going to scroll down, find the crew page, and copy, just like we did yesterday, the information that's supposed to be in that first box. Copy it, and we're going to paste it right here between that div tag. And then I'm going to set my tags up. This is supposed to be an H1. So I'm going to copy meet the crew there, cut it, and paste it between that tag. This one is an H2, so I'm going to go H2. Meet Dave the owner, cut it, paste it in there. And then we're going to do that P tag. I'm going to go ahead and hit my tab key and even this all up so it makes a little more sense. I'm going to do my P tag. And then I'm going to copy this, cut it, place it here. Tab key again and move it over there. And this is going to be a separate P tag. X. Paste it, and there should be a line break right there. Like that. I'm going to get rid of this empty space here. We don't need it. And here. So there's our first one. Let's see what we got. We're getting there. Everything looks a little funny right now. Just bear with me. We'll get there. Go back to code view, file, save all. Let's see, column medium 1/2, column large 1/4, info box dark. Let's check out our styles.css. I named everything right. Info box 10, info box 10, info box dark. Yep, we're good there. And let's pull this down to 450 so everything looks the way it's supposed to for now. We've got a little bit of a problem here. We may have to change this and make it something else, kind of like we did yesterday. So info box dark. How about we add a CP in front of it and do crew page info box dark. Let's go into our CSS. I'm going to copy this to our code. Info box, oh, that's the H2. Info box dark. Copy it, put my cursor after it, hit my enter key, paste it, and do a CP right in front of it. Gonna keep it the same color. And heading top 20, 20, 60, 300. I think this might need to be a little bigger. Let's see. That's better. I think we could have kept it at 300 though, and it would have been fine. Let's remark that. So for now, we're okay. We could do some line height in here. That looks better. And I'm going to go into my source code and I'm going to put a line break right here. And another line break right here. Now you can see we need to edit that CSS a little bit. Let's see what we've got. Top padding. I'm going to lower this top padding to 34 pixels. That's better. We could probably even go down to 30. That's even better. So that does the first box. Not too bad, right? We're getting there. So now let's go back to our source code. Now that is our first div tag, right? So you're going to click on it. That's your medium column 1/2. And it has 2 div tags. It has a div tag inside of it. And you have your image. That's a div tag. That's a div tag with a div tag inside of it. So we're going to find the end there. Go up to this div column medium 1/2, the second one that makes the box around your green box or blue box, whatever color you made your box. You're going to put your cursor after it and hit your enter key. And we need a new div. Class equals column dash MD dash 1 dash half, and then column dash LG dash 1/4 1 dash 4. And add my bracket, hit my enter key. Now, according to our wireframe, the About Us comes next. So we're going to go into that copy text, into that Word document, find the About Us section, and we're going to copy it. Copy. And we're going to paste it. Now, About Us is supposed to be an H2. I didn't get that part copied. It's supposed to be an H2. So I'm going to cut that and paste my enter key and do my paragraph tag and cut my paragraph. There's 2 paragraphs there. So we're going to have 2 paragraph tags. Cut that one. Go up to my paragraph tag, paste it, go all the way to code view so you guys can really see what's going on there. I'm going to erase that P tag, enter key, add another P tag, and then copy the text that's left down here. Cut it, put it between those 2 tags, and then I'm going to get rid of all of this space like that. So now we have 2. What we didn't do is make the other div tag. Sorry, guys. Let's go back and add that. Div class equals, and we're going to call this crew page dash info dash box dash tan. And I'm just going to cut this closing div tag and move it down here to the bottom and save it. Go into your CSS. We just made this one. Copy it, enter, paste. Actually, let's copy the tan box. It'll be easier. That way we get our colors right. Info box tan. Copy it. Cursor here, paste it, and add a CP. And we know it's not going to be big enough. So I'm going to up this to 600. That's where we're kind of going to start. I'm going to look at the split view. That's looking pretty good. We need to add some things here. Line height, I want to spread this out a little bit more. I'm going to change that to 200%. Oops, wrong one. This one doesn't have a line height on it yet. Line height, 200%. That's better. Color, oops. Color, pound, F, 7, 1. 2. And back to my code wheel. I'm going to go back up to this H2 and we're going to add just a simple line break there. Now 600 looks a little too big. So what does 500 do for us? Too small. 550? That's better. We're going to put it right there at 550. Bracket, bracket, bracket. It says I have an error here. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. What am I missing? Oh, there's a color up there. That's why. I'm going to erase this one. There we go. Okay, so now we go into split. That looks pretty good. So back to our source code. That's the About Us section. So again, you can scroll back up, find that actual div for the column, not the info box 10, but the actual div for that column, the one that says class column, column medium 1/2, column large 1/4. And then it highlights the end tag. Hit your enter key after it, and we're going to do it all over again. Class, column, and then column MD 1-half, and column large -1-4. Hit your enter key. Now, according to the wireframe, the next column should have an image of the crew. So we're going to do our image tag there. IMG, SRC, browse, and once again, lawn care site images, and find the crew team and hit open. Add your alt. Crew team photo. There's that div tag. So find the closing for that column. Put your cursor after it, hit your enter key, and then we have another. Div class, column, MD 1/2, and then column LG 1-4. And the next is the crew. So we're going to go into our copyright, your Microsoft document, copy the section for the crew, and paste it in there. And then we're just going to go back and add our tags. We need an H2, and that should be the crew. Cut it, paste it in here, erase that H2 white text, and then we need an H3. H3, and it should be that, copy, paste, and then we need a paragraph tag, so P tag, and that should list all of the actual people on the team. So all of these. So we're going to cut it, come up to this P tag, paste it, and then we're going to have to start adding line breaks. There should be a line break there. And then a line break here. I'm just tabbing this over. A line break there. Yes, you could absolutely put this in an unordered list if you wanted to and write the rules to remove the bullets. That would be perfectly acceptable if that's the way you want to do it. And then I'm going to erase all this excess text I still have there that I don't need. So let's look at split view. What do we have? Well, it's there, but we really need to put that into an info box, don't we? Let's hit my enter key and go div class. And I'm going to do the info box tan again. I'm going to make it light blue. So I'm going to cut that bottom div tag and come down here at the end of that paragraph tag and paste it. And it puts it in there like that. Now, we really need to spread that out a little bit, don't we? So inside this paragraph tag, I'm going to give it a class. Class equals CP team. Go into my CSS styles. And right here, I'm just going to add it. .cp dash team, my brackets. And I want to do line height 250%. Save it. Split. Let's spread it out enough. We're getting there. Let's try 300. That's better. I think once we go back up here to the crew and add a line break, that makes it pretty perfect. That looks pretty good. Now, we are missing something on this page. We need the Meet the Crew banner across the top of the page. So we're going to go back up here to our main tag. Of course, this div class row. And right after the main tag, the opening main tag, you're going to hit your enter key and do div class equals, I want to make it that same dark color. So I'm going to do dark banner. And it needs to say H1 meet the crew. And I'm going to go into my styles and do dot. I can't remember. I'm having a really bad dark banner. There it is. Dark banner. And let's see what that color was for the dark banner. I'm going to copy that whole rule. Actually, I'm going to copy two of these. And I'm going to take it down here and paste it. And then I'm going to do padding top 10 pixels, padding bottom 10 pixels. Save it. Let's take a look at what we have. And I need to center it. So text align, center. And margin bottom, oops. 10 pixels. I'm going to set the width to 100%. Oops. Width 100%. Margin right. Auto. Margin left. Auto. And save it. I'm going to change that to 99%. Save it. So then we have our 768. Let's see what we got. Well, we're getting there. We're going to have to change some things around, but the first two are good. Needs to be a little longer, and that image needs to be a little smaller. So let's work on those things. Let's see our image first. We are going to need to go down and find the tablet view. Now we have the SP banner, nav, the info box tan, info box dark, I'm going to grab this. Oops. Let's go into code view. Info box dark. Copy it. I'm going to paste it, and I'm going to change this to C. And I'm going to change this to 30. I'm going to remove the width. Oops, I'm doing that to the wrong one. There it is. Width. To remove that. That's better. Now we need to do something about that image. So let's go back into our source code. And let's go down to this image, which is right here. And let's put a class in here, or an ID. Let's give him an ID. ID equals quotations, Dave. Save it. Go into my CSS styles. Make sure I'm in my tablet view. Oh, here's tablet view. And I'm going to do pound Dave. And width 100%. That's better. And height 338 pixels. Makes him the same size. So now we need to talk about this box, the About Us box. So back into full code view. That is the CP info box tan. So I'm going to go down here to the end here. Do dot info CP info box tan. Brackets, and to the width at 100%. Save it. Split view. Now we've got a bit of a problem, don't we? How do we fix that? Let's go into our source code and see our actual code here. Info box dark is good. Now, column medium 1/2. According to our wireframe, About Us should be on a row all of its own on tablet view. So that means I need to add a rule in here to make it that. I'm going to get rid of the 1/4 and I'm going to do a column COL large, just like that. And I'm going to go to my CSS styles, go into code view, go down here, go box 10, and I'm going to change this rule to say column large. Save it. Split view. Looky there. Now I need to make a few adjustments here because text align should be left. It's not aligning, so I'm going to have to make a P rule there. So column large P, text align left. Save it. There it goes. File. Save all. So there's our about. Now it's a little too thick. So I do need to make a little bit of a change there, don't I? So I'm going to have to make another rule that says .cp info box 10 bracket height 400 pixels is a little too 425. That's better. 425 pixels is what I'm going to mark it at. And then according to our wireframe, the image of the crew and the crew box are supposed to be side by side. But as you can see, this image is too big. So we're going to go into, yeah, Sean, you can choose the font family. You got all kinds of creative power there. You can choose your font family. That's fine. So back to your source code. Let's find the section where we put in that crew image. There it is, right there. Once again, we're going to give it a class. Class equals, and I'm just going to do crew-img. Let's give it an ID instead of a class, so it will respond as well as Dave did. ID equals crew-img. Back to my styles. And do pound crew-img. And do width 100%, semicolon. Now we're looking pretty good. Now, if you look at your wireframe, the crew box is much larger. So we're going to have to make a few adjustments here, guys. We're also going to have to make the crew box 10. We're going to have to add an additional rule there and go crew-box. Go into your styles. Enter key dot crew-box and do height. And let's see what 500 pixels gives us. Not enough. Let's see if we can't shrink this just a little bit. Height, 500 pixels. That's better. Not quite long enough though, so let's go 550. 550. That does it. You see what's going on here? My footer is somewhere it's not supposed to be. Let's take a look, make sure I didn't accidentally erase something in my footer. I didn't. Easy fix. When that sort of thing is happening, there is a very easy fix. Just going to go up to the top of your CSS. Find your footer rule right there. Put your cursor after that last attribute and do clear both and save it. It will automatically clear that footer so that it's underneath anything that happens to be above it. So you make sure you get that spacing and all that good stuff. So now there is tablet view. Let's go to desktop view. Now we've got a bit of a problem, don't we? If we look at our wireframe in desktop view, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows, right? So everything should be 25%, right, in width, and it is. But there's one too many things to put on this page because we have this meet the crew, meet Dave, the owner. So how do we lock that so that it's underneath, so that they become the same, they become within the same div tag? Let's go back to our code. We've got our row, and we have our div column medium 1/2. And it ends right before the meet Dave the crew, right? Well, what we're going to do is put another div tag around that. I'm going to go div class equals, and we're going to call it CP first COL. Cut that end tag. Let's go into my code so you guys can see all this. We're going to cut that end tag, and we're going to go all the way down to after the column for meet Dave the owner. There's meet the crew. There's our image. That's Dave. Oh, I put this in the wrong place, guys. Let's try that again. Here's our row. Here's meet Dave. This is where our div tag needs to be. Div class equals CP first dash COL. Cut that div tag. We're going to go down to underneath that first, the div tag for meet the crew. There's the column. We're going to go right after it. And we're going to paste that other closing div tag. Refresh. Put a split. We're getting there. Code view. What I really think we could do, instead of having to add that code, let's check something out and see if it'll work. Medium column 1/2, image of the crew. Will that work? Let's go back to split view for a second. Column, they're beside each other. So no, that won't work to do it that way. We do need that there. And the closing, column first column, the closing tag should be down at the bottom, like that. Right before the about us, the beginning of the column tag for about us. That's where that closing div tag should be. And we're going to go into our styles. And we're going to go down to desktop view, tablet view, desktop view. I'm going to go down here to the end of it, right before that last closing bracket, and do dot CP, first column, brackets, width, 25%. Now we have a bit of an issue, don't we? We're going to have to add some CSS here to get that, in order to get that to work. We're going to have to go back to the very top. This column medium, column 1 large, column large 1 4. We're going to add another on there, and it's going to be column dash large. Dash, and that's got to go here too. Well, dash LG. Does it have to be column large? Medium 1/2 is controlling it right now. Erase that. Yep, column medium 1/2. So we're going to go with column CP column large, because we're using column large on something else that's going to interfere with all this. And we're going to get rid of this column medium 1/2 and go with column CP dash column dash large. Oops, dash large. Get rid of that 1/4 too. That puts it all over there the way we need it, but we don't have that rule yet. And it messed up our tablet view. We're going to have to go into our styles.css. Go up to tablet view, right here to the end of it. Enter key and do dot CP column large bracket width. And in here it should be 50%. And float left. That puts it back to where it's supposed to be. And in cell phone size, it's still fine. Cell phone size, we're not quite tall enough there, are we? We are, we get to 400. Not quite. So let's edit that real quick. Go back up to the very top. Find your CP info dark. CP info box dark. And it's set at 300. Let's try 350. That does it. How about the about us at this height? It needs to be a little bit bigger too. So let's go and up this just a little bit. 5. Not quite enough. That's it. So that's fine there. Let's pull it out to 768. Make sure everything still looks good there. That's fine. So now to our desktop. Go down. CP first column width 100%. And we need our CP rule here. What did we call that? CP info box dark. Styles. And CP 1/2. We don't have it there. .cp info box dark. Bet 100%. And it should be down the next line. Come on. Float. Left. What is still controlling that info box dark? Let's go back up and look at this. CP info box dark. Meet the crew. CP first column. We did that, right? Yes. CP column large. Oh, we haven't fixed that one. .cp column large. Width. And it should be 25%. No. It should be 100% here. There it is. And we need to do a .cp info box dark in the code for meet the crew. What is he in an H1? H1. Font size. Too small. Too big. That's better. Text align center. And the info box dark we need to make bigger. So we're going to do a height. We're almost there. 300 pixels is too small. 400 pixels. Let's see how that adds up when we get to these two boxes over here. Yeah, to work with the padding a little bit too. So that's pretty good. We just need to bring this about us up. Any guesses on how we do that? Let's look at our source code. So we've done the dark banner. We have completed the image and the meet Dave the crew. So we are at the info box 10, which is the about us right here. What do we do to bring that up so that it's even with what's before it? It's even with meet the crew, which is the last column, which is the last div tag. How do we bring it all the way up? Let's go all the way down here to our desktop view. We do .cp dash info box 10. And what happens if we do align content? If you do flex start, anything? Nope. What if we just adjust the top margin? Margin top, and we say negative 300 pixels. What just happened? We're almost there. 50? Not quite 350. Looks like 347 will do it. You can just adjust the margin. And then that box definitely needs to be longer, doesn't it? So we're going to go height. 100 pixels, not enough. 800 pixels, almost enough. 850 pixels, that's better. And we're going to have to meet the crew box, our dark box, which is here. We're going to have to make that height bigger. Too much. 5. About 510 pixels. And then we have our image. Let's go back to our source code and look at that image code. Here's our image. And it has an ID, crew image. We need to make sure we write a rule for that down here on our desktop because we need to move it up, right? So we do pound crew img margin top negative 347 pixels. And we can change the height. Height 850 pixels. And looky there. We have an entire page. Now let's check it. Here is 768 tablet view. Yep, everything's good. 450. Oh, let's come back down a little bit. There we go. 450. And there's our cell phone. And there it is, guys. While the crew page is definitely a different layout, it's manageable. You can get it on here. Looks like we're not quite, see how this works, guys? We're not quite long enough here. If I click on my 1024, we're not quite long enough. So let's lengthen that a little bit. That's our info box 10. We might be more at like 900 pixels. Nope, we're more than that. What we could do, Z, 850, and change our line height here. Line height, 120%. That definitely brought us up to where we needed to be. Let's see if we make it 150. That's better. 60, that's even better. So 160 will work there. And that evens us out. So you just need to add a line height on that CP info box 10 in the desktop view of 160 pixels. That will make you even. Yep, that will work. Any questions? It seemed way more difficult than it really was. And this time, erase all of that code between the row tag when you start. It will make things so much easier if you just retype it like I did instead of trying to edit the code, because this layout is entirely different than the services page or the index page. So if you just erase that code and start from scratch between that first row tag, make sure you click on it, find the end tag for it, and then delete everything between it. And then start your coding, just like I did, because it's really not that much code. It's more CSS than it is code, but it'll make things a lot less confusing if you type the code on your own instead of trying to edit the code that's already there, because the layout is completely different. Any questions? Well, guys, that is the crew page. And as I told you yesterday, we are going to break this week up into 3 lectures. 1 lecture for every page you have to do this week. So tomorrow at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, we will do the assessment, which is the contact page. Contact page won't actually take very long, so the lecture won't be too long, but I think it will make it easier for you guys to follow if I break them up into individual sessions instead of trying to do 2 pages in 1 session and so forth. So yesterday I did the services page. Today I did the crew page, and tomorrow I will do the contact page. And that will be it for this week. And I will be in the SSC on Thursday and Friday, 8 to 11 on Thursday and 4 to 11 on Friday. And if you have issues in between that, guys, zip your root folder, email it to me so I can look at it. I will look at it and I will do 1 of 2 things. I'm either going to give you directions on how to fix it, or I'm going to go in and fix it so you can compare it to the file you have and fix yours. Kind of depends on what the error is. Sometimes it's easier for you to see what you did wrong when you're looking at the one I fixed compared to the one you have, than me saying, okay, go in and delete this semicolon and add this comma, that sort of thing. So if you're having trouble, you can just email it to me. Sound good, everybody?
What color is the blue?
Okay, Sean. I will see you tomorrow then. Good night, everyone.